right, here we go. First virtualBlue 2.0 stream. I should probably share this to our Infinite Flight community thread and just paste this in here. Let's see. Live stream going on now. All right. So, flight planning first. So we're going to do a quick, we've gotten a lot of, okay, what do I do now, right? So you join virtualBlue and it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? So first stop you want to make is to our YouTube page. Tons of great material there. I just put together a playlist that I will be putting into the thread of all our flight planning stuff. So basically, what you want to do first is come to simbrief and then go to the dispatch system, which I'm on, right? simbrief.com, and then you just make an account, right? If you want, you can buy the AirAct cycle, right? I think mine's updated. Where does it go today? So yeah, we're active today. So you want to go to dispatch system, create new flight, and you can save flights. I got a ton of flights saved here, see? Right? So I'm going to do new flight. Okay, JBU 6911. We're going to go KPBI, KFLL, alternates MCO. Going to select an airframe here now, 558 JB. We're going to move an A320. Okay, this is how you do it. You punch in, you go from left to right. 1445, so let's say 1435 after we get done. 1414 right now. So over here, you want to save this as your default. JetBlue, you want 60 minutes. If you're flying into a Friday night flight or something to that effect, you want to do about 20 minutes contingency, is what I usually do. Or I'll bump up the taxi, just in case there's a hold. And we don't need step climbs. We do want the runway analysis. That's going to give us our V speeds. So now that we've got the aircraft put in there, right, and we're going to post, we'll post our aircraft numbers. So if I open my aircraft editor, I'll just go down and show you aircraft 558. We have this set up for 162 passengers at the appropriate Infinite Flight pounds. And then we've taken the operating empty weight from Infinite Flight, max zero fuel from Infinite Flight with 162 passengers, right? So for the JetBlue configured A320, that's your max zero fuel weight, right? So we have these airframes set up and we have a minus 15 performance factor. It might even be a little more than that, right? So I'm going to go back and hit edit my flight because it's going to remember. Oh, apparently not. Got to go back and do my new flight. So I want to do JBU. I'm going to go 69, odd number, 6909. KPBI, this is just going to be a quick ferry flight. Actually, I wonder how long it takes to get to, it probably doesn't take long to get to Orlando. We'll just do the ferry for now. No need to go crazy, all right? So I select my airframe. The A320 in Infinite Flight has a minus 15 performance factor, right? That's the fuel factor here. And if you follow the JetBlue, or the virtualBlue methods of flying and our procedures, you will find that the fuel will be within a few hundred pounds when you land, usually plus or minus 300. Okay, we're going to go Mach 80 for the cruise. Even though we're not going to make it up to Mach, it's going to give us a speed. And we're going to do altitude's going to be, let's just say 8,000. We're going to keep it at 250, right? Our taxi out is going to be 10. Our taxi in is going to be 10. That's going to reduce some fuel. Time en route is going to be about 20. Time en route is going to be about, 45 makes a lot of sense. And then I'm going to set the zero fuel weight. I'm going to load the plane right up. Actually, you know what? I'll go somewhere in the middle. We'll just say the zero fuel weight's going to be 131.1, right? So this route actually takes us all the way to Miami because it takes you to Virginia Key for some reason. So we want direct Faisal 7. That should give us, yeah, this is exactly what we want because we'll be joining the Faisal 7 arrival. Actually, what's Buffett 2 highly, and then can we join? Oh, that should be, we'll do the Buffett 2 highly. And then we're landing 10 left. Unfortunately, you cannot put the, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't put the ILS on it, but it will give you RNAV stars. So that's a good thing. Alternate airports. So we're set to go here. We got 8,000 set in the thing. You can leave everything but the zero fuel weight alone, right? You'll see why in a minute. So I just set the zero fuel weight 131.1. Let's say we got 2 more passengers, 131.3. Okay. So we're ready to go. We're gonna hit generate OFP. So we're set to go. So 10,000 pounds of fuel, and that's because we got to go to, what's the word there? We're going to, and that's a little high. That's high for this. I would guess minus 20 would probably work. What's it say our burn's going to be? They're saying burn's going to be 1.7. I think it's probably going to be more like 2.5. So it's actually a little more, but that, excuse me, sure, I can think. The fuel factor on short flights is it's hard to really nail down, right? Because this is literally a 21 minutes in the air, they say. So we'll see how this looks, right? So what I'm going to do now, excuse me, is basically I'm going to get this squared away, right? I'm going to go down here to the XML data file. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to flight plan fpl2if.com, and I'm going to go ahead and hit paste, okay? And that's going to pop me out a flight plan, right? Oh, look, it's got Pion in there, but I don't think, we're going to probably do the RNAV. Actually, wait a minute, did I? Highly, actually I can, let's do the star. That's probably easier. So I screwed up here. So what I'm going to do is edit the flight real quick. Sorry, I'm tired. I've been up all night. So let's do Faisal, direct Faisal. Let's see if we do Buffett to Faisal. So there we go. Oh, it's making us go to Faisal. So we want direct Faisal is basically what we want. I wonder if we waked. There we go. So I joined the arrival at wake, right? So that's a little bit better route there. So I'll hit generate again now. Oh, it's raining in Boston. All right, so I'm generating. My fuel may change. It may not change. I'm not 100%. Yep, fuel went up just a little bit. So you've got your general numbers here, right? If you're flying with the group, you want to post these numbers. Take a screenshot of this and post these numbers in, right? So we're going to join the Faisal 7 arrival after highly, right, and wait. So all that being said, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to copy this XML file and use simbrief classic mode, right? Simbrief classic. I have it just saved. And then we paste in the data set right here. And there's our flight plan, right? So we're going to have to change a couple things on this. It would help if I knew where my phone was, so I can copy that into the so I'm going to copy, and I'm just going to put it into the paste here, into my routes. Worth saving. Let's see. I just have a page with some routes here in my iCloud notes. So that's going to paste. So we got that set. All right, so we're all set there. I'm going to grab the PDF and use it on my phone. Now, most of the time I do this stuff on my phone, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go on my iCloud tabs on my phone, and I will be opening this one up. Close Safari, open Safari. Still not there, so I'll just airdrop it to myself. That's fine. Oop. There it is. Open with. Can I open with Safari? Is that a thing? Just throw it in my files. It's okay. So I've got my PDF for my flight plan, so I know what my fuel is going to be, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and close Safari, right? I'm all set in here. I've got my number for fuel is 10,502. So I'm closing Safari. I've got my flight plan copied. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up in-flight operations, in-flight assistant, and then infinite flight itself.
Ready when you are, Captain.
Okay, so in-flight operations and in-flight assistant are connected. I'm going to drag up and slide over on, let's see, 11's good, 8320, and we're going to do a 6909. Okay, so we're set to fly, expert server, and off to the races we go. I just want to get a good calibration on this. Calibrate. The winds aloft aren't working. The airport winds are working, but the winds aloft are not. Yep, winds aloft is still no good. So this could be interesting. Just check on the map real quick. So we've got 80 at 16, so pretty much right down the pike. Should be about the same down Fort Lauderdale, 70 at 13. I wish I could multi-stream from my phone as well, so that you could see what I was doing with the phone. I mean, I suppose I could try to slide over Safari, but I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to get my V speeds from my simbrief runway analysis for my takeoff speeds only, right? So this has got me flap 1 plus F. V1 is 133. VR is 136. V2 is 138. Okay, so that's important. We use an app called Infinite FMC, which is coded by one of our guys. And that's right here. And I'm going to show you. It's going to be close, but this takes into account. This takes into account the winds. The simbrief takes into account the winds, while this will take into account just the weight. All right. So I can actually show you. We'll use this for our landing. Our landing weight, theoretically speaking, according to our flight plan, is going to be 139.4, give or take. I bet you it'd be more like 138.7, just a guess. But this will take in our takeoff weight, which is 141.6. So we'll go 132, flaps 1, gives me a V1 of 132, right? We're going to put, this says 133, so we're going to put 128 in in-flight assistance. See how that says 127 for IFA? You subtract 5 knots. The call out comes 5 knots before. So we've got to rotate. Our rotate is 36, and that's because the wind's coming down the pike there, right? So rotate's 36, and then V2 is 38. So we're going to pitch for 153 off the runway. I'm using simbrief numbers here, right? We're going to have flap 1, so at S speed, or 195 knots, we're going to go flaps up, right? Green dot is our clean speed. So landing I'm going to set it for 138. The runway direction is like 096 if I remember right. 096, it's 070 right now, 070 at, what did I say in Lauderdale? Let's see. Lauderdale 070 at, why does it have no weather? 07013. Let's give this a shot and see what we got here. I'm going to try this new multitask thing, see if it works. All right. I'm supposed to be able to do that. All right. So I'm going to use these numbers for now. Can only have one on infinite flight. This is what I was worried about. So now I need to carousel up infinite flight, and I'm going to set in. Remember what our V speeds were, right? So I'm going to go back to Safari. Right? So 127, 138, right? And then we'll put in 155 is our target takeoff speed, right? It's hard to do this, and I should have put the master and the nav lights on as soon as I got in the cockpit, but I did not do that. So I've got my takeoff speeds set, so now I want to copy my flight plan in once I've got my... I like to hide some of this stuff. It's just something the map doesn't have to render. All I do is leave the fixes up, so I'm going to go ahead and copy my flight plan in, and I'm just going to add the runway fixes on the runway. I'm going to add the runway fix and the approach. Okay, and I'm going to delete, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the top of descent. We do not use the simbrief top of descent. So Agoya is the end of it, and then it is Agoya to Holod, and then again Pion. We'll probably cut the, oh, Pion's already there. Pion, Novi, Paki, right? And 813 is the runway fix, and then Fort Lauderdale. So there we go. We will probably do what they do in real life, and we'll cut the approach somewhere in here. We'll turn base somewhere between Vipity and Agoya here to come back around for Pion. And just going to take a quick look at the charts. Oh, I hate it when that happens. If I lock my iPhone, does that happen? There we go. Nope. Still thinks I want that app. So if I do this and this, and iPad OS is giving me some trouble. Sorry about that. All right, so my V speeds. Let's see. We need to put in 33. So we want 128. And then 36. Right? You don't call V2. Right? You call V1 rotate. And then we want 153. So we're going to pitch the nose of the airplane up to, let me put the touches on here, help you guys out, see what I'm talking about. So our initial pitch is going to be 7.5 degrees, right? 7.5 degrees right here, right? So 2.55, 7.5. So we're going to rotate to right here, right? And then once we get the positive rate and the gear comes up, we're going to rotate up to 15 degrees and be looking to hold 153. You'll see it when it's in practice. So I also use small range, arc mode. I do need to add up here at Palm Beach. I need to add 1175, bring that to the top. There we go. That'll take us straight out the runway. I do like to clean up my flight plan by going like that. Okay, so now I'm just set in 8,000. Now we're set. We're set for push at this point. So I'm going to go seatbelts, no smoking. Begin logging the flight in IF ops.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean, and
As
on
soon as you
behalf
put
of the
those on.
entire crew, I would like to welcome you aboard. They've just closed the aircraft doors, so at this time, I would like to ask you to turn any mobile phones and tablets you may have with you to airplane mode.
Just announce
Please
taxi
find
10
your
left.
seats, fasten your seatbelts, and put your tables to the upright position.
Taxiing to
Flight
runway
attendants,
10
arm doors for
left.
departure, cross-check and report. Thank you.
Got the paperwork. Let's just take one quick look at the chart on. I've got the charts on my phone, right? Read the charts. I'm going to read them off to you because I don't want to keep using Safari because things have been a little laggy as of late with the iPad OS. So what I'm going to do is just take a look at these charts real quick. So Navigraph charts will automatically knows that I'm using the Buffett 2, right? So I'm just going to take a quick look, see if there's any restrictions on it. Okay, 10 left, Buffett 2. Take a look. So it's Carmen, Buffett, Heat, highly. And it's clamped to 520 and then direct Carmen. So that's good there. Get rid of that chart. And then the Faisal 7, I believe there's an 8,000 foot at Swamp. Oh, no, so New Mosey. So we're going direct to Waked, right? We'll be coming down the coast. We'll be going direct to Wake. So 8,000 and 250 is what we're expecting, okay? And what is my cruise speed? Is it giving me 250? Yeah, so we'll be 250 knots the whole way. So let's go ahead and push back. Beacon lights. Beacon lights. Sometimes he doesn't get me. My co-pilot does not get me. So beacon lights are on. Go ahead and start on the push. Start 2 and then 1 in sequence. And we're going to push all the way out to the alley here. Start straightening out a little bit. Oh, hey, guess what I didn't do? I didn't do the right stuff. I did not even set I'm a little distracted today, sorry. I didn't set my aircraft up. So we got to go back, start over, just check in-flight ops, cancel log, cancel pre-flight, begin pre-flight. Got it. Resume, into the cockpit, nav lights, master. Paste the flight plan, that should be all set to go. Right, rework that. And we're looking for, where are my charts now? There's Wake, Big Pack, Goya, and then ILS 10 left. And we've got Hollid, Pion, Novi, Packy, 0813. Okay, so first thing I should have done when I came in here, and excuse me because I haven't had a coffee yet. First thing I should do is go to my weight and balance. I need to set my zero fuel weight at 131.3. So I'll drag up the passengers. I like to leave a little cargo, more cargo in the back than the front. All right, so let's drag right up to 131.3. Right, and we're looking for 10,000 on the fuel. So I'll resynchronize and get as close to 10,500 on the fuel as I can. Let's see. So that's close enough. 10,523 is what it's going to be looking like here. Okay, so that's close enough. 10.5. So V speed should be the same, and we want to set 153. 24, 60, 52, 3. All right. Let's relog in.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean, and on behalf of the entire crew, I would like to welcome you aboard. They've just closed the aircraft doors, so at this time, I would like to ask you to turn any mobile phones and tablets you may have with you to airplane mode. Please find your seats, fasten your seatbelts, and put your tables to the upright position.
Clear
Flight
the
attendants,
gate.
armed doors for
Turn
departure.
2.
Cross-check and report. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask you to direct your attention to the monitors above as we review the safety procedures. Even if you're a frequent flyer, please give it your full attention. Thank you very much. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt.
Just
Insert
adjust
the
it a
metal
little bit
fittings
here.
one into the other, and tighten by pulling
So
on the
first
loose
thing you
end
want
of
to
the
do
strap.
once you get on the
To
gate,
release your
adjust
belt,
your weight
lift
to
the
the
upper
appropriate
portion of
weight.
the buckle. We suggest that you keep your
Turn
seatbelt
1.
fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a moment now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored.
Flaps
In the
1.
event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will
Flaps
automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you.
Set
Place
flaps
it
1.
firmly over your nose and mouth,
Flaps
secure the
1.
elastic band behind your head, and breathe normally. If you're traveling with a child
8,000.
or someone who requires assistance,
Set
secure
the
your
trim.
mask on first, and then assist the other person.
Probably do about
In the event of an
29.
emergency, please assume the bracing position as displayed.
Now,
A
watch
life
this.
vest is located in a
This
pouch
line
under
right
your
here
seat or between
should
your
be on
armrests.
the left of this,
When
just slightly
instructed
to
to
the
do
left
so,
of the center line of
open
the
the plastic
taxiway.
pouch and
So
remove
once we
the
get
vest.
out and make the
Slip
turn,
it over your head, pass the straps
I'll
around
show
your
you
waist,
how to
and
line
adjust
that
at
up.
the
You
front.
line up the
To inflate the vest,
center
pull
line
firmly on the red cord. Only
slightly
when
to the
leaving
left
the
of
aircraft.
this
If you need to refill the vest,
on the
blow into the
FMA.
mouthpieces.
That's the best way I can say
Use a
to
whistle and
line
light
things
to
up.
attract attention. Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device.
And then you just kind
Pull
of
the cushion
judge.
from the seat.
Alright, so we know we
Slip
gotta
your
get the
arms
nose
into the
wheel over,
straps and
right?
hug the cushion to your chest. We remind
Alright,
you that
still
this is a
coming over, still
non-smoking
coming
flight.
over.
Tampering with, disabling,
Right.
or destroying the smoke
Now,
detectors
if I
located in the
stop
lavatories is
right
prohibited
about
by law.
there,
You'll find this
I don't
and
know
all
what
the
you're
other
gonna see,
safety
right?
information in the card
the
located
nose
in the
wheel is
seat
going to
pocket
be
in
pretty
front of
much
you.
on that
We
line.
strongly
Might be a
suggest
little
you
to the
read
left.
it before takeoff. If you have
See
any
that?
questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish
So
you
you line
all
up
an enjoyable flight.
with the FMA. It's pretty much almost dead center. In between these would be your center line. Dead center in between the master warnings and the, I forget what those buttons are. And a relay bus. Bear with me, I'm tired. I should probably have a coffee, but I really need to get some sleep. I worked overnight. So, we'll continue our taxi. Do a quick flight control check. Pull down, pull up, neutral, pull left, pull right, neutral, and then
Flight spoilers
flight
extended.
spoilers,
Landing
ground
spoilers extended.
spoilers,
Spoilers retracted.
and rudder right, cross in,
Approaching runway 28 right.
JetBlue 6909, crossing runway 14.
do landing lights, strobe lights,
Approaching runway 10
give it a
left.
little bump for 20
Approaching
knots.
runway 32.
Don't want to taxi much more over 20, 25 if you're really in a hurry. So let's see if I can line this back up again. And we'll see if when we come across the runway here if I'm centered. Alright, about there. So let's pop back outside. Am I centered? Yep, pretty much. So use this guide right here. Landing lights off. Mark doesn't want to listen today.
Palm Beach Unicom, JetBlue 6909
Approaching runway 10 left.
So we'll just keep rolling on down the runway here. Or the taxiway to the runway. I've checked my V speeds, right? So I'm going to use Infinite FMC to calculate my landing speed when I get a better idea of the weight. So they're saying we're going to burn about 200 pounds on taxi. I did a 10-minute taxi, 200 pounds on taxi, and I'm drifting off center here. They're saying we'll burn 200 pounds on taxi, and then look at that. Once you get the hang of the lineup, it's really easy. 200 on taxi, 200 taxi in, and then 1.7 in flight for a total of, where's my total's going to be, so it's actually got us burning 2.2 this time. Alright, going to call takeoff, 10 left, departing south.
Palm Beach Unicom, JetBlue 6909
strobe lights, landing lights. That's the ILS hold line right there. So once you go over that, you need to have your strobes and your landing lights on. Technically, you'd be up here, but I do it when I cross the ILS hold line out of habit. So I might even use a little less trim. Somewhere between, depending on the weight. The higher weight you are, the more trim you're going to need. Use the rudder brake. Slow me down a little bit. And I'm going to attempt to line up on the runway center line. Turning like this. Just keeping that, again, this part of the FMA, just keeping that a little bit outside. Right? And I want to wind up in the center, so I'm oversteering the line a little bit. It looks like the lag might be a little bit better. Alright, so we're on the runway now, coming across the center line.
On runway 10 left.
Alright, get all the way across. Alright, I want to center it out right about there. That's pretty good. Hold the brakes, so we're going 50% throttle. Stabilize thrust. Alright, stabilize. Now we're going to use 90%. Because we're just about max landing weight.
100 knots.
Checks at 100.
V1.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotate. 7.5. Right. Positive rate.
Gear positive rate.
Gears come and keep that up to 15. Just pitch for this speed right here, right? Right. Okay, at 1,500 feet, we'll do a thrust reduction. Bounced a little bit there, a little too high. Okay, 15, so we're coming down to 86. Just based on our weight, bring that down to 10. Set it to 250 knots. I won't click the autopilot in until, alright, so I'm going to go ahead now that I'm accelerating, lock in my vertical speed, lock in my altitude. I'm going to let that climb me there. Alright. So 195 was green dot, or S speed.
Flaps up.
Right. And let's bank on course. Now watch what happens when the thrust hits 250. I'm just going to punch it right in. Watch my bank angle though. Alright. 250. Alright. Once I come out of this turn, I'll go ahead and hit nav. I'll do a 1,700 foot per minute climb. Still turning too much. So that wasn't good. See what happens when you don't pay attention? So we're expected to hit 8,000 feet at that waypoint, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the VNAV for that and let Infinite Flight Assistant take over. How many seconds is that? 30 seconds. So it's going to be looking for about 2,300. Bump out the range a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be looking for 3,000. I don't usually use the topper climb on short flights like this. I'll just climb it to 8,000 and kind of VFR it a little bit. And that's not normal. We don't usually do that at virtualBlue. But that's, see that? That's almost the max that in-flight assistant can give you. So let's pull that off. In-flight assistant is a great app, but if you're not careful how you use it, right? If you're not careful how you use it, it'll slam you into a climb like that, or it'll slam you in worse. It'll slam you into a descent that you can't really get out of 5,000 feet per minute. You'd have to disconnect the autopilot and do it yourself.
In a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you hot or cold drinks, as well as a snack. Alcoholic drinks are also available at a nominal charge. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
So, I usually, when I go to Florida, I stay right here. There's a hotel right there that I stay at, and we've got family down there too as well, but that's the town of Delray. That's where I go in the winter time. So I'm quite used to flying to Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. That's Boca right there. And this is Lake Boca. We'll give you a little tour. And then Lauderdale, excuse me, is right about there. See all the canals, the intercoastal waterway. Miami's further down, obviously. That's Miami Beach way down there and the beginning of the Keys. Tune out of Palm Beach Unicom now. So we're all cleaned up. Just adjust my trim down to 0. Neutralize that. Pump up 40 miles. So you can see we got a downwind leg and then a final. We'll have to turn base somewhere along the way. So let's see. It's the intercept is 1800 at Novi. So after Bepac, we're going to come down to 1,800 feet. So as we come through Bepac, we'll come down to we'll start our descent to 1,800, and then we'll turn back, and Pion is actually 2,500. What's the platform? Yeah, platform height's 1,800, so that's the lowest ATC can vector you. Let's see, rates 107, 623. Agoya's way out there. So we'll probably do this. Let's do this, and we'll simulate real vectors. I'm gonna get rid of Agoya, right? And I'm gonna be looking to turn back to Pion, right? If I look at Flight Radar 24, I almost guarantee that they're turning them there, unless it's really busy in Lauderdale, because Agoya's like way out over the swamp. So bring in the range. Hopefully this wind doesn't stay right, so I'm gonna look here. So yeah, we could be about 138 when we get there. We got 10 minutes to go. Let's see. I'm going to use infinitefmc.com to factor in my landing speeds. Still 070 at 13. So I'm going to factor in 138. Runway direction is 096. Wind direction 070, 13. So I've got my speeds here. 205 knots is our green dot. So below 205, we're going to put out our first notcher flaps. Right? Our VAP today, or our approach speed, is going to be 142. So we want 142 after Novi. Oops. Clear the altitude. So Packy 142. So we're going to do 210 on the downwind, 190 on the base, slow to 170 for the last little bit. So once we get to Pion, we'll slow to 170. Keep hitting altitude instead of speed, right? And then let's go 210. And we'll see what happens here. We'll clean this on up. Let's do Vipity and Vepti and Pion. That should give us a good base turn. 190. Set altitude 1,800. Set altitude 1,800. Do an 1,800 foot per minute descent here. Should get us down just in time. We might need 2, to be honest with you. We may even need some spoilers. So let's call inbound on Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale Unicon, JetBlue 6909 is 5 nautical miles to the north with 7,000.
Flight spoilers extended.
Watch my speed now. We're going to bring it back to 210 so that we can get on down. Going to report left downwind now.
Fort Lauderdale Unicon, JetBlue 6909 is on left downwind, runway 10 left.
I wish we could grab the ILS from here. So remember, we don't need that first notch of flaps until we hit below 205. And then for our weight, actually 140, so we might need it now. So I don't think we're going to burn that much. So let me recalculate for 140. So 207 is our green dot. And then the flaps 2 speed will be 194.
Spoilers retracted.
Okay, so we're within 2,000, so it should be 60 seconds down to where we want to go. And we'll see we're coming below the glide now.
Flight spoilers extended.
I wish Infinite Flight had like either a multi-position or like a throttle on the spoilers, so you could put a little bit out and leave it, just so you wouldn't gain speed. So 1,000 to go, and it's going to come up on the speed here. We want to be within 1,500 feet per minute as we're between 1,000 from where we're going. So we're going to drop flap 1 and flap 2 in succession here as we slow to 190. So flaps 1's going to come pretty quick, and then flap 2 is also going to come also pretty quickly, because it's 207 and then one below 194, and we'll maintain that until we intercept at Packy, or is it Packy? Novi, excuse me. So left base now.
Fort Lauderdale Unicon, Jet
Flaps 1.
6909 is on
Flaps
left base,
1.
runway 10
Flaps
left.
2.
Flaps 2.
So our new VAP's going to be 143. Actually, it's 086 at 16. The wind did not change, so we might need a little bit more speed to carry here. 16, 144, and 134 is our ref. 144. Get rid of that. It does, the autopilot actually handles this this base turn pretty well. If we look on the map, you almost want to slow it up and I might just hit direct here once we get in within 30 or 40 degrees. Kind of redirect. Yeah, we're within 40 degrees. It's a little bit of a steep turn to do at 190, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it back to 170 now. I mean, it was coming back anyways. And then we'll call final at Novi. The A321 would be almost in a stall now. You see this little bit of play in the vertical speed? It's called a phugoid, and the A321 is I don't know if it's overweight or what it is at the moment. And I know the wind's not working, so we can adjust the speed. Once we get to Novi, it's gonna we're gonna be all set to hit the speed we need for VAP. And again, I apologize for not setting my weights. I was a little brain dead earlier. And it looks like that wind's going to stay the same. So as we come up on Novi, I'm going to start a slow descent. 100, 200 feet a minute or so. But 1800 is our platform altitude for this approach. We're pretty well lined up. About a minute out of Novi. 2.5 to go. Should start seeing some movement on the glide slope here momentarily. Okay, we're locked in on the localizer. I'm going to leave nav on. Here comes the glide slope. Just starting down real slow. Okay. Gear down. Gear down. Spoilers. Flaps 3. Flaps 3.
Flight attendants, prepare for landing, please.
Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Flaps full.
A little bit of buoying there. I'm going to come off of nav. And I'm going to come off of this. And here we are. And I'm calling final.
Fort Lauderdale Unicon. JetBlue 6909 is on final. Runway 10
Okay.
left.
And let's start that descent. I was out of calibration there. I shifted positions. So our ground speed's 133 right now. So we'll need about 650 feet a minute on the descent. 135. A little bit to the left here. Get back in. You don't want to go outside of a dot. I'm just trimming so it feels comfortable at this descent rate in my hands. Alright, so we're just coming back on the center. We're gonna don't really need to crab so much. I have this feeling that the airport's gonna switch winds on us and it's gonna come around a little bit more. Stabilized at 1,000, on glide, on the lope, and we're crabbing a little bit. Remember, my center line's right about there, right? If I had $1 for every time I shifted the view and
Approaching
didn't want
10
to.
left.
A little bit high now. I'm not going to dive for it. I need to ease back out to the right a little. There it is. Not too much.
500.
Stabilized at 500.
400. Approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
I'm aiming on the bricks now.
200.
Getting a little bit low. Autopilot's coming out. Speed stable.
100. 50. 40. 30.
30. 20.
Retard. 10.
And I'm getting set.
Landing spoilers extended.
I didn't get my nose up enough, and I think I hit a little hard. Let's see what it says. Under 100 brakes.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign.
I'm just shoot right over to the
that we have parked at the gate and that it's safe for you to move about.
So a couple things I noticed there. My nose angle, I did not get up nearly where I should have
Please
been.
check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you. And please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles
Landing
may
lights
be
off.
shifted around during the flight.
Spoilers
On
retracted.
behalf
Flaps
of the
0
entire
degrees.
crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip,
Flaps
and we're
up.
looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a pleasant stay.
It's starting to lag a little bit. It was alright for most of the flight. Let's go ahead and turn into this gate. 6 knots. I probably could have used the 143 for the VAB, and I would have got my nose up a little bit more, but we'll check. So my touchdown speed, I was looking for 134 knots. And as you can see, my prediction was pretty correct. That we'd burn about 2,500. So let's go engine 2, engine 1. We wait for under 10%. Beacons off. Seatbelts, no smoking. End the flight. Hit OK. And then let's go see. 270. Meh. The nose wasn't up, so we did hit pretty hard. Still within limits. 6909. Ferry / stream. So I'm going to create a visual report, save it to an image, and then I'm also going to post a virtual airline and show you the ACARs real quick. So we use number 558. If I hit next, my PIREP's on virtualblue.org. And if I log in, there's my flight. Can I, no, can't do that. So let's go here. All right. Pending approval. So eventually we're going to get that landing rate set, right, from ACAR. So we need a new beta from John. So I just go ahead and hit submit. Right. Actually, I would need to edit that and put the route in. And then it actually looks for your simbrief dispatch, which is here. So select all, copy, put this here. Paste, so it's 2433, and then the route was Buffett 2, direct, waked, 507. Submit. So, eventually the fuel, zero fuel weight and landing rate, we're going to try to get those all logged, and let's go take a look at the image. So I was 5 knots under ref. My nose was up higher than it was good. I was 143. I was in limits here. Takeoff thrust is okay. 7.4 is what you're looking for. All right, we were looking for 153 for the takeoff speed. You're looking for that V2 plus 15. But anything plus 10 or above, anything from V2 to V2 plus 15 is okay. I had to dive a little bit at 1,000, 143, and 5 knots off of ref, so I'm good there. Landing could have been a little bit better. 4.6 is good. You don't want much more than 5.5. That's the max you want. And I hope this was educational, right? For right now, what I would do is I would post the PIREP invalidator. So what I would do is come in here and give it the old slackaroo, right? Go to validator. Go JBU 6909 / KPBI KFLL ferry. And then when they go to check the PIREPs, that will be all set as soon as it shares. Okay, not so much. Anyways, there we go, shared the validator. So thanks for tuning in. I gotta find omelet here. Hopefully we get you guys all rolling.